Okay, guys, we're going to get started in Adobe Premiere and create our first project. So you need to find this icon that says Adobe Creative Cloud. Hopefully you guys have logged in once already. It should launch this window, and the program we want to launch is Premiere Pro. Do not worry about the update. Just go ahead and open the software. When the software opens, you might get an error message. Just hit continue with known errors if that comes up. It's going to prompt you to take a look at what's new going on here, but I don't want to start by getting into text-based editing. We might touch on that later on. So the first thing we want to do is create a new project. All right. When we create a new project, we got to give it a name and give it a location. So I want to have you call this your last name. All your projects are going to start with your last name, first initial, and this one's going to be 15 shots. All right, we're learning about the shop types. Now, don't just go ahead and hit enter, because I want you to specify where it's going to be. In the last video, we showed you how to create a folder or actually move the videos into your folder. So I want you to find that folder. So you're going to have to go back to the tech drive, go to student folders. You can search your name if you want, or you can scroll down in alphabetical order and find it. I'm going to go into my video production, and we're going to go right into that same folder that we put our media in. And I'm going to hit select folder right down here. And now you'll see that it says it's going to the student folders, my name into that specific folder, and this is the name of the project. So we're okay to come down here now and hit create. All right, so we can go like this, and now we're going to go to getting our media into the project. Now we could have done that in the previous window because that's something new setting here. They've got the tutorials all set up for you to learn. I'm going to hit the import button, and now it's going to bring us back to this select media. So I'm going to hit select media to import, and likewise we're going to need to locate that folder. So once again, we're going to go back to student folders. You can view these, by the way, as a list. It might make it a little easier for you to find them. I just clicked on this button right here. You can zoom in or out if you want to make it smaller or larger. These are in alphabetical order. Again, you could do a search for your name, and it should find my file quickly. And then I can find my video production folder and my 15 shots folder. Now you can see that I have all of these clips that I need to import. Now I can pull them all at once by clicking on the first one, going to the bottom, holding shift. It's going to select all of them, and I can hit import, or I could click on just the ones that I want to import and take them in one at a time. All right, so let's go ahead and do that instead. So I'm going to deselect all of these. Okay, I deselected them all. I'm just going to now pick a few of these shots that I want to take in. So let's just say I'm selecting those. I come over here to my import button, and you'll now see that those shots have been put in my project bin over here, and they've also already been thrown onto my timeline for editing. All right, now they may have been put on my timeline in some order that I don't want them to be, and that's easy enough to do. We can just take them right off of here by selecting them, hitting delete, and we can then put them in the order that we want. Now, for this project, you're going to put them in the exact order that is on the sheet of paper that I gave you to record these clips. So, that's the way I want to do it, so it's easier for me to keep track of what's going on. If I double click on one of these clips, you can see that it comes up in this preview window here, and I can take a look and see the whole clip and decide which portion of the clip I want and so forth. That's going to get further on in the editing clip. Down here, it might be wise to name these clips. This might be a close-up. This might be this shot here looks like a high angle shot. So you can come down here to make your life easier and rename these clips. and I would use the terms that are on your sheet, so I can get everyone a copy of those shots that we're looking for. That you can then take those clips and you can start placing them on your timeline, and they don't need to go in any location at the moment. You can shuffle them around as you name them. So that's pretty much it in terms of getting the clips into the project bin and then getting them on the timeline. Now we're going to need to add more of those. All right, so just to show you a couple other ways to get media. Let's say you forgot to bring something in here, or let's say you brought something in you didn't want. So let's say we didn't want this clip. We can just click on it and hit delete. That guy goes away. So if we want to bring more things back in here, one way to do it is to just go right down to your File Explorer and find the folder that has all your stuff in it. So I'm going to jump to the tech drive, and I'm going to go to my folder, and I'm going to go to, I'm pretty good at finding this, and I can view these. By the way, I hope you know this, but this is something you should know just from being someone who uses a computer a lot. But if you go to the view here, you can change it from a list. You can go to large icons and it will help you out. You can go to view it with details, and you can check out the dates and the size of the files. It's good stuff to know. I'm going to go back to large icons and say, oh, I was looking for that clip or the side view here. So I'm just going to grab that clip and I'm just going to throw it right into the bin there. So that's a way to do it. Another way to do it is to go to File and go to Import. And then you can, again, you're going to have to find your folder and say, you know, I forgot to bring in this clip. I'm going to throw that guy in there. Oops, I'm sorry. I'm just going to click on it and hit open, and it's automatically going to throw it in there. So there's lots of ways to get stuff into your project bin. And then to get them on the timeline, you know, again, I would preview them first. Make sure this is a clip that you want. Get rid of the junk that you don't want. Make sure you name it so that these clips make sense. And then when you have them in here, it's going to be easier to find. So you can name the clips, drag them right onto the timeline. You can flip-flop them around, just move them. And you can even separate the sound from them. In this case, we don't need the sound, so we can either just mute the sound by turning it off over here. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry guys, I'm used to Zoom where that's the mute button, but this is not the mute button. This is the record button. I started recording myself on this video timeline. The mute button is M, so that's going to turn off that soundtrack if we wanted to. We can also deselect it. I'll show you that later. This is a short little recording I just made by hitting that button. We'll talk more about that later on. So I think I've talked too long. This video is getting pretty long, but that should get you started with getting your clips on the timeline.